Let's talk about If and the Strangers Chapter 1. If. Let's start with If. Let's get this out of the way.
If only this was a good movie.
If only this didn't even live up to Foster's Home for the Imaginary. Like, it didn't even live up to that. That was a pretty good show. You know, it came out around the time on Cartoon Network. For anybody who doesn't know, around the time of Courage Cowardly Dog, stuff like that. They had, like, it was cool. It was a good time. But I got to tell you, this movie sucked, man. Well, I will tell you this. No, because as much as I appreciate all the people who work on any movie, I did not stay for those credits because this movie was abysmal. But care to share, please? You go first.
Talk about it. I feel like we did stay. I just already forgot what the little thing was. But anyway, as for If, so it was not hitting for any of us that went to go see it together. So then I start listening to the crowd around me because I'm surrounded by a lot of kids in front of us, behind us, around us. The kids next to us, within 10 minutes, were saying, when can we go home?
Yeah.
Well, how much longer is left? They were bored to tears already. What really did it in is that fucking gummy bear doing the little fart joke, and not a single fucking kid even giggled. Not one.
Amy Schumer's fart joke. Yeah. This whole movie was just cameos and bullshit.
Yeah.
It really was, dude. Like, there's no real story to it. There's no real hook to it. You get drama, you get dramatic scenes. But even like the ifs look fake compared to everything else. Yeah. And I don't want to spoil it or anything. If anybody wants to take their kids to see it and they want to go see it, there's a little bit of a twist at the end with who Ryan Reynolds is in the movie, but is it a twist? It's not a twist at all. It's so stupid, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But so If stands for Imaginary Friends. If you haven't seen the trailer, it's Ryan Reynolds' character teams up with a little girl because it's never fucking weird.
So
and
problematic.
Which here's the thing. Like, he gets mad about it, right? Like he's like, no, go away. And all the ifs are like, is she the chosen one? It's like, what are you talking about? And then there's no payoff for that. There's no payoff. Fine, there's a connection. There's no payoff. They're just like, oh, she remembers who he is. Yeah. And why couldn't John Krasinski play that role? He wasn't doing anything in that hospital room. No, they didn't even say what was wrong with him.
Yeah, no, they were just like, oh, he's got surgery.
He was getting surgery. He wasn't dying. Yeah. They were playing this up because, the mom died. Like, it opens up, like, it's full heartstrings. I don't know what happened in this or who wrote this. And I'm sorry. I like you, John Krasinski, and I like your direction because the movie directing wise wasn't bad. Yeah. Like the actors all put on their performance. Like, they're just not. Like, the little girl was good. She was probably the best part about this movie, right? And then that's nothing against her because she doesn't destroy the movie in any way. She's just playing the part of a non-story story, right? I don't know. It's so stupid.
They did take it. They have free range, right? It's Imaginary Friends. I expected to see like really bizarre things, like you're just showing unicorns and a fucking marshmallow on fire and shit. Like, show me something weird. Like half marshmallow, half cucumber dude with legs like a T-Rex or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's an imaginary friend.
And like, I got the idea of like wanting to be really creative. You're right. Like, what kid dreams about a talking glass of ice water?
Yeah. You're
like, I got the dog who's a superhero. I got the banana. I got like a bunch of the little ones. Like, I got like some of them. And I got even like Steve Carell's character, who was like one of the main ones, right? Yeah. But what pissed me the fuck off is like, oh my God, they changed even the rules. Like, let's get them new kids. No, let's get them their old, but they can do it for adults because adults need to learn how to dream. We would love to. The boots weren't on our neck all the time. Yeah. Anyway, go watch the regular part of the podcast if you're listening later. You'll understand what happened. Let's give her ratings for the Jackass movie. And I hate to be so harsh about it. But it was not good, and like, but it was not good in an infuriating way. It's like, you drug this out because like the trailers seemed like it was interesting. I'm not saying it looked like it was great for me, but I wanted to take my kids. I went and saw it, but I wanted to take my kids to go see this. I would not know. No, they will not enjoy this. This will not be fun for them. But anyway, my rating for this is 1, and yours is 1.5.
And I'll explain the half. So the half is only for the scene where she finally is able to take over that little creepy carnival she takes over underground. And then that scene, I did kind of enjoy how she started playing with the walls changing and brightening up. I enjoyed the visuals of that scene, but that was about the only thing I enjoyed that whole damn movie.
I did enjoy the visuals of the movie. Like, he makes a really nice looking movie, but it was a boring story, and you changed it up too much. Like, it would have been nice if it was like, I think they should have reversed it personally and made it where they're going to try and get the adults to dream and connect with them, and it's not working, right? And then maybe like go to their kids or go to someone else. Like, you didn't set up the grandmother enough. First of all, you set up the mom and the mom dying, and that's like the first 3 seconds of the movie. So, and you don't see it. They just like, they don't even tell you. She's just not there anymore. And the girl is like sad, but it had been years. Like, it was stupid. Anyway, you set up this whole thing with like the grandma and stuff, and like it's only exposition. So if you miss it, I know where it's coming from, but if you miss it, you don't give a shit that she wanted to be a ballet dancer.
Let's talk about the grandma for a second, because
I loved her performance. She was very good.
She was problematic. This girl's running around New York, regardless if it's with imaginary friends or not, running around New York in the middle of the night, has a key to the apartment, just can casually leave, hop on trains and shit, and no one asks where were you? Where are you going? Are you shitting me?
That's how I grew up in a city. So, and I'm not saying like me, I was a little younger, but like my brothers did that all the time.
But I have to ask, and I'm not trying to sound sexist at all, is it different for males though? Because I mean, I kind of grew up in a similar situation, but I feel like most people kind of are a little more protective of their little girls.
I mean, maybe, but like, we were latchkeys. That's basically what she was. I assumed the grandma was working.
Oh, she just looked like she was drinking at home on the couch. She was living her best life with that wine.
Oh, whatever. Well, in fairness, like, she went to the hospital every day.
Right.
So like, I could see where you're just like, okay, she's going, like, I'm going to see him or whatever. In New York, that's not unheard of. She's like 12 too. Like, my kid's crazy all around. So like, you just got to teach them the best you can, and common sense. So we got to teach common sense. All right, let's get to the imaginary.
Hooray!
I don't even want to talk about that movie anymore. I'm quitting on you. That movie. Paul picked these movies.
Fuck.
Now I know you guys, when you watch the clips of our reviews, or you watch or listen to the podcast, we always like end on the movie we love the most. Not the case. No, this movie was horrendously bad and worse than the one we just talked.
Yeah,
this is an abysmal. No, I gotta tell this one. If you want to see and know what this movie's about, watch the first one from 2008. Maybe the second. I like the second. It's different. It's a little more in your face. This movie changes up everything that was good about that original, tries to add on more to make it creepier, and it never lands. It is dull all throughout. All right, here's a quick review for you. Paul, listen up. This pertains to you. No, it doesn't. It had to be 2009 or something like that. I was living in Hollywood, and I went to Halloween Horror Nights in Universal, and I took the Terror Tram, and the Terror Tram takes you all through the studio, and like they have like things all out, and then it brings you up into the mountains, and it drops you off. It just says get out and walk that way, and you walk through the town from not Days Ursa still War of the Worlds, when the plane crashes, that was there. Awesome. And you walk through that, and then they have zombies running out at you and stuff. Then you get through that, and then you were walking through the woods for a little bit, like a path. And I promise you, it's going to be a good payoff. So you're walking through the woods. There's like bodies hanging from trees, and it's like the coal miner running out at you because My Bloody Valentine had just come out. Then you walk a little bit more, and in the middle of nowhere is the Bates Motel.
Heck yeah.
And you're like, oh shit. This is where they filmed the Bates Motel. And now they have like crap everywhere ready to jump out at you. You're like, I don't need this at the Bates Motel. So I'm walking with some friends, and we're going through the lines and stuff and doing it. It was a really cool experience. And there's cute girls there. And like, I wanted to be, maybe a little more masculine, macho, which is at this point, realize 14, 15, 16 years later, whatever. Just be you. Worry about being anything. If you are masculine, great. If you're not, that's okay too. So here we go. I'm standing there trying to be, and they're sackhead, and I don't see them. And they're eyes wide, ready. I'm scared. And I turn and I haul ass. I run all the way across Norman Bates's little motel, like pushing people over. Not really pushing people over, but like getting around people, and like there's people jumping out at me still because they don't realize that I'm trying to run away. And like, because he just freaked me out. It was just the wrong moment, and it was that moment of fight or flight, and I flew. Say what you will, but that moment I flew. And I say this to tell you that out of the 4 experiences in my human life that I have had with sackheads in some sort of art form or some sort of performance, this one in the chapter 1 is the worst. Doesn't even make the list.
Yeah,
that's number 3. So it was so bad. I realized it was a long-winded story, but it was so bad. There's no drama to it. Maybe other 2 shots that I thought were cool is when she was playing the piano and he was sitting on a chair behind her, and then he disappears. Not even when he was like walking in the background, because it wasn't even done comparatively to the original. It wasn't even done well. And then you get the one where she's in the shower, and the only like I knew he was going to be there. It like shouted you at your face that he's going to be there,
right?
But I thought it was still a cool from a filmmaking aspect. I thought it was cool that she crossed in the frame and then disappeared. It's a different take on the whole pull open the medicine cabinet mirror thing. I thought that was cool, a cool shot. Nothing about this movie was cool. The only thing I liked was she was okay. I didn't mind her, and I don't think she was giving a bad performance. I just don't think she had a good script to work with. And she's going to be running this trilogy, this proposed trilogy, so at least I know I don't mind her. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it doesn't matter. I'm not going to watch a stupid trilogy anyway. This movie sucked. I swear to God, Rennie Harlan went to David Gordon Green and was like, give me your Halloween and your Exorcist playbook. I want to know how to make it. I want to know how to take a property and make it so fucking bad that like the world just hates me. And now granted, he didn't do that with Mike Myers. He did that with The Strangers. But my long-winded approach, and I'm going to let Paul have it. This movie sucked, and the boyfriend was just a piece of shit. And I was glad when he died. Go ahead.
Damn.
I don't
That's
mind
beautiful.
that.
All right, now let me tell you guys why this is 9 out of 10 for me.
Get the fuck out of here! It is not. I have your rating.
Let me tell you guys, if you're struggling with sleep, go see Strangers Chapter 1. I caught me a good 15-minute nap. It was perfect. It was perfect. This movie sucked. They took the script from the first one. They like verbatim. A lot of the main scenes were all the same exact dialogue as before. I thought they were going to kind of touch base, it being chapter 1. I thought maybe, okay, we're starting with just like one main group committing these crimes and is going to explain maybe why they're doing them, maybe what inspired them to them, what hurt them to do them. But we don't get fucking any of that. It's literally like it's a shitty version of the original.
Can I point out it can't be a prequel?
Right.
This is not a prequel.
Right. Because
smartphones didn't exist in 2008. Cell phones did, but not what they had. And they had all new BMW and stuff like that. So what that tells me is we had 2 movies that one was phenomenal and one was good. I liked it. It's in your face. And then we get this piece of garbage, which is a planned trilogy, and you took everything out of it that was good about the first one based on a true story, which I know we've talked about, and I'm not saying you have to use that, but that's all they used. This one, they give you like 3 cards worth of crap of like, there's always unsolved murders in America. Okay, we get it. We watch true crime, everything. Relax. We don't need you to say that. And then on top of it, like completely remove the idea. They're in an Airbnb because their car broke down. It was turned into like Wrong Turn, but a bad one, not a good one.
Yeah.
It was like so stupid. Everything about it was dumb and just didn't make sense, and I hated it.
I knew from the opening scene when I realized that that's the same still they used for the original Strangers movie that says, FBI lost cases. This is the story. When I saw that, I was like, you used the same fucking one?
No,
you couldn't even change up any of that like at all, just to make it a little different or be like, this is one of the stories, not this is the story. That's what you said for the last one. Like, what the fuck are you got? Like,
it was so
don't waste your money, guys.
Like, I would have preferred them if they're going to take it a different route. Don't go back to the first one. You've already amped it up in the second one. Now put them in a situation where maybe they're going through like little town and like a group retreat.
Right.
That would be cool. Them start like 7 or 8 people or something. I don't know.
Or change the masks. Because if there's not supposed to be a correlation between this and the original, why is it the same mask that they're wearing between?
And they said Tamra, and they did. So like, if this isn't connected.
As far as I could tell,
who knows? You don't even.
That's what I'm saying. Because you're like, it's not a prequel. Because you're right. Obviously, it's not. But they're not hinting enough to let us know what's going on. So why Tamara? Yeah, this
and
movie
you took the good part about it, like the way they were dressed in the first one when he was wearing a suit, she was wearing like the homemaker. It was like they were trying, and she was dressed as a kid, like, you know, like they were trying to put together this idea of like the idyllic family that's coming to murder you. And I dug that. And then this one, like they tried to update it and it just looks stupid. And let's just give it a rating. I'm just tired of these stupid movies. I gave it a negative. I would have given it a negative, but I can't give it a negative on Rotten Tomatoes or Letterboxd. So I gave it a half. It doesn't deserve it though. Maybe she does. I'll give it to her in those 2 shots. They can have a half a point. That's still a lot, but you can have it. And you gave it a 1.5.
I think mine was supposed to be a 1, unless I probably said something wrong. But I think because I thought I did Strangers as 1 and If as 1.5. But regardless, it's shit.
So hey, listen, down to a 1. There you go. For sure. All right, I'm done with these movies. I can't talk about them anymore. I need better movies in my life.
Same.
Let's just do our mixed pick. This has been a crazy episode. We're going to do our mixed pick. Then we're going to talk about CFF a little bit, and then we're going to get out of here.
Heck yeah.
From 1957, a wonderful drama. If you haven't seen it, it's called 12 Angry Men. It's about jurors who are locked away deliberating, and they are trying to investigate within themselves whether a young man murdered his father or not. And it is a really interesting case study on like the psychological differences of human beings and how they deal and the anger that comes in with it and everything else. It's a fantastic movie, brilliantly acted. Sidney Lumet's first movie, I believe. I don't know if it was his first movie, but I think it was. And I love Lumet. He was fantastic. But this was just such a great movie. Paul, have you seen this one?
Yeah, I have. It's been a while, but I have.
Do you recommend?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you guys still aren't sold, tomorrow here on the channel, we will have 12 Angry Men, the Snobs Film History Classic Film Review, where we'll get in depth with it a little bit more, and you can go check that out. But this Thursday, Horror Conversations, that's right, the official podcast of Carolina Fear Fest, brought to you by the Scene Snobs. We have a show on Thursday night from Carolina Fear Fest. Of course, we are the official media partners. We're going to be there. We're going to be handling the panel, a lot of the panels. We're going to be handling a lot of other stuff. We're going to be broadcasting live all throughout the weekend at different times. You go check out our channels or CFF channels to find out when. All right. I'm super excited. Paul, we met at CFF. Do you want to say anything before we get going?
Man, CFS has a special spot in my heart. You know, it's tradition now at this point. I don't think I could ever miss it for almost anything. It's going to be fun, you guys. I'm excited to see how it works with the new layout. I was kind of excited to see that they move things around. I think just that element alone, I'm like, ooh, it's kind of brand new just because everything's semi in a different spot.
Makes my life so much easier because I know exactly where I need to go.
Right. I was looking at it. I was like, oh yes. And I was like, next to bathrooms, perfect. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, 3 years ago, who knew? I'm not saying smoking's good, but I'm saying that's how I met Casey, and that's how in turn I met you, and then worked out. And man, it's you never know who you're gonna meet there, and it's just so much fun, you guys. So if you're going there just to buy some merch and be on your way, you can do that. If you're going there just for panels and be on your way, you can. If you want to meet some people, talk to people, I've never met anyone there or spoken to anyone that's not willing to have a conversation with you or even hang out with you.
And it's a really cool vibe. The whole con is very spread out, open, and it's just a lot of fun. Like everybody there just feels like if you guys join up on the Discord over on the CFF channel, we plan meetups. We talk about like what we're gonna want to go and do there and stuff like that. So go join there, or make sure you're following all weekend. So that way, follow us here and follow CFF down in descriptions below, and go check it out. Let's have some fun with it, man. It's gonna be a good time, dude. But 'tis that time, my friends. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being a part of it. Thank you guys for talking movies with us and hanging out. You are all very, very awesome. We truly appreciate you. And until next time, remember to be kind, stay classy, and take care of yourselves because that is so damn important. And we'll talk to you then. Bye.